Rose Phillips gave birth to Helen March 26, 1924, which made Jay Phillips just about the happiest man in Minneapolis. Helen's childhood and teen years were happy times. There were classes, sports, close school friends, and a loving family. It was an American fairy tale right down to the boy who lived across the street. Jack Levin courted and married the Phillips girl. She was 17 and he was 21. And when they married, Jay, Rose, the Levins, and all of Minneapolis celebrated. The future promised to be happily ever after, but this was 1941, and the Second World War dominated everyone's future. Jack went off to command a PC boat, the youngest captain of a commissioned vessel in the United States Navy. Tommy's arrival kept Helen company. The young bride continued her college education while at the same time majoring in motherhood. Luck was with the new Levin family. 1945 brought peace. Jack came home healthy and eager to make up for the missing years. And with the future ahead, Jack and Helen packed their toothbrushes and little Tommy and went west to California. Their joys and successes seemed to be never-ending. Their second son, John, was born March 19, 1948, a testimony to their war-interrupted love affair. Helen and Jack worked hard, and when vacation time came, their favorite place was Hawaii. Jack's business prospered, and soon they were planning their dream house. September 11th, 1951. The fairy tale ended. It was a hot day. After a game of tennis, Helen went swimming. Soon she felt unwell, and by nightfall, the doctors knew it was polio. Ravaged by fever, Helen fought for her very life. 3 days later, the fever passed, leaving a 27-year-old wife and mother barely alive in an iron lung.
The first conversation I had with Jack Levin was him telling me that Helen Levin did not want to live. She was in a respirator at Cabot Kaiser for many, many months and expressed to him her desire to die. At this time, she couldn't even kill herself because of her quadriplegic condition. She was not able to do this. So it was up to him and the therapist and the people around him to give her the desire to want to live, to give her a motive.
Jack got her through the tough early years, but the spark to live was fragile and vulnerable. The turning point came quietly and quite unexpectedly.
In the beginning, she had to use straws and sip oxygen, which made me feel very guilty at times. But as time went on, her strength increased just miraculously. And eventually she could read better and more at any given session than almost anyone else I know.
Helen's rebirth was the discovery that she could help someone else, that she could make a difference in the lives of others. Annie Lample was one of the first of many blind students that Helen read to. With her help, these students became lawyers, psychologists, and sociologists.
Yet it was Helen who always encouraged me, who in fact, when I didn't have the guts to take classes for credit and really wanted to do work towards my degree, was the one who almost blackmailed me into doing this, because she said, if you're not going to get good grades and if you don't get a degree, I'm just not going to read to you.
She also got enthused about herself going back to school, and this is when there was a tremendous change in her life, and she became much happier and much less depressed.
I'm Norman Farborough, co-director of the Los Angeles Suicide Prevention Center. When Helen Levin first came to us, it was just after the time that she had gotten her degree as a psychiatric social worker from the University of Southern California. So she was a clinical professional person, and her role especially was to work with the suicidal persons who came into the clinic for face-to-face individual therapy. Eventually, as she became more a part of the organization, she assumed other responsibilities. For example, she became a member of our board of directors and played an important and significant contributory role in that position as well.
Helen touched everyone's lives in the city of Los Angeles. Her work in chairing the Mayor's Barriers Committee brought about changes in building and street codes, which now serve the disabled with dignity.
During her last year or so of graduate school, she'd call me occasionally about consultation with certain patients that she was working with. And I began to know something about her work. And then about a year or so after she graduated, she asked me if I would be her consultant and go over cases on a regular basis with her. Well, that was really quite a remarkable thing for me. Although I've been an educator in psychiatry for some 25 years, I don't think I ever encountered somebody at that level of development, the amount of time that Helen had been in the field, that had such a complete capacity to relate to people. And it was that was her great gift.
She was a very stubborn lady, and if you told her that she didn't think that she could do it, she would show you that she could do it, because she just had that get up and go. The first trip that we ever took was on a train. We took the Oxygen, and we took John Levin, and he was just a little boy, and we went on the train to New York to meet Jack. It was our first trip. That's before the airplanes were pressurized, so we had to take the train. It took us 3 days and 2 nights to get there. And we had a lot of fun, because I had to wake her up with a flashlight to see whether she was breathing going over the passes.
For the next 20 years, Helen devoted herself to family, to patients, and to the disabled. The life-nurturing power of helping others never dimmed. And indeed, the jewel in that crown was Helen's contribution to the founding of the West Side Center for Independent Living.
WCIL is all about helping people to maximize their potential in spite of their disability, to prove through assistance, through teaching independent living skills, that you can get out there and you can compete, to help people build their confidence, to help people strive toward excellence. You know, we're all going to die, and the way we live on is through the memories of people, the way people see us, things that we've left. And for Helen, she's left a very viable, important organization in the name of WCIL. She was not only a superb mother and grandmother, but she was an excellent role model for all of us, and a supporter, and a friend, and someone who always let you know that you were doing a good job. She's a very special woman.